Hey guys, and welcome to an epic clash of legends. I'm a rubber duck of war, leading the mighty forces of the vampire counts under the guise of the blind bandit, taking on Amnesia 111 and his dark elf forces, which is really rough for vampire counts in general. So it's going to be a tough scrap indeed. What do you do when your back's against the wall? You grind. You grind like your life depends on it. And who grinds better than any of them? It is Vlad von Carstein, who shall be the general of our mighty war host today. Vlad von Carstein, the beautiful and the noseless. He's going to be coming in today with a decent array of spells, with Invocation of Heck, which of course is pretty standard, and Gouda. Likewise is Raise Dead, but more importantly, we have Wind of Death looking to take out Blackguard of Nagron and Executioners, who are so common in this matchup. Our main battle line is a bucket ton of zombies backed up by the much more elite, hard-hitting Graveguard. I believe we have the Sternsman in the center alongside Vlad, double White King, both with their glorious ability, the Scarf, to rain fire down from range, as well as the Claw of Nagash, the regiment-renowned Mortis Engine. A couple of Vargheist up in the skies, as well as Felbats on the flanks to harass the enemy back line. Chariots, crossbowmen, you name it, we're here to shut it down. As for my opponent's build, he has double Scourge Runners over on the far side there, looking to apply a little bit of pressure early days. They're going to be really useful for taking down the Claw of Nagash and other large targets. His main battle line is a mixture of Dread Spears and Bleak Swords, so nothing particularly exciting to write home about. They're cheap, they're cheerful, and they're just all round happy to be here. There were Dark Shards in the center, protected by a unit of Witch Elves. More importantly, we have two units of the Blackguard and Nagrons, very vital and pivotal in this matchup. They're anti-large, they can deal with the majority of your infantry as well. They really are quite gnarly and nasty. We have a War Hydra, which has been making its advance to the high ground here, has clearly been studying the tomes of Obi-Wan Kenobi, can do some nice breath attacks into the Sternsman and so forth. And then we have Malekith leading the battle charge, which is pretty cool to see him rather than Marathi, who became like insanely popular towards the end of Warhammer 2, and we only really saw her. He's coming in with Soul Sealer and Blade Wind, both pretty expensive spells though, so not going to get too much use out of them, but hey, it's a nice mix up there, and Blade Wind can certainly do some nice work. Only 11 winds of magic compared to the 18 of the mighty Soul Sealer. Felbats have taken quite a pounding at this point. I actually engaged the chariots in combat for a while accidentally, but hey, if they're shooting my Felbats, I'm a happy ducky. All the ammo go that way, please. We're both going to be repositioned a little bit. I don't want to charge headlong up this hill, so I'm going to be moving around a little bit, trying to also gain part of the slope myself, so we can meet each other in more glorious hand-to-hand combat on even footing. In the back, we have some Felbats. They're just waiting to bomb dive on Dark Shards where possible, and the Vargheist are floating around up to no good, getting ready to slap some people and start their trouble in the neighborhood. They definitely want to be whipping around, trying to rear attack where possible. Felbats in the distance have just about survived. They are fading and crumbling though from the annals of history, and we are retreating backwards a little bit, just repositioning and getting ready to march forward. It looks like my opponent is doing a similar strategy. The War Hydra is bounding forward, Leroy Jenkins style. The zombies shall meet him man to man, zombie to monster, and charge into glorious hand-to-hand combat, but the War Hydra, ever the coward, flees before the stumbling and bumbling hordes of zombie filth. We're advanced now, nice getting close to the gap a little bit. My opponent has kept a relatively tight formation, but the Vargheist looking for any opportunity to bomb rush on top of Dark Shards, and the Felbats as well, been a little bit sneaky beaky in the back. Zombies can be used to force off Scourge Runner chariots, who are not anymore using up their ammunition, which is really good play by my opponent. It looks like he's taken off fire at will, which is definitely an advised strategy. Dark Shards do start trying to focus down the Claw of Nagash, it would seem, and even the War Hydra is looking to get in the action. Big breath attack probably going to be coming down the line on the Graveguard, I would think. Let's see. Boom, straight down the line, roasting the Graveguard, doing not the best damage, not quite perfectly catching, and the White Kings will charge at the Hydra. It whips its tail, trying to send them flying. The mighty warriors stand firm, and in the front, the zombies are about to get bolstered by the much more elite Graveguard. Vlad stands not alone, though. He is covered in blood and arrows. This is Vlad's wet dream. He loves being in a grindy bloodfest in the middle. Soul Stealer is going to come down, which is rather devastating stuff. Going to catch the Sternsman, plus the White Kings, plus Vlad, plus the Claw Nagash. Really nasty stuff there, and Malekith is going to be charging into the deep one more time. Graveguard pushing forward. We have a little bit of slow play by me on the left-hand side, but we're going to be using these troops to rotate up and around. Vargheist did bomb rush at the Dark Shards for a while. Unfortunately, got stuck on the ground. Blackguard and Nagron twirling their halberds and arcs of death do drag them down, but elsewhere we were able to decapitate another unit of Dark Shards. It looks like some of the zombies are holding up quite a few units on this right-hand side. So we formed quite the blob. Bladewing does go down, trying to tear through the Graveguard, but the Sternsmen absolutely love this. the zombies less so. Vargeist do get a big rear attack into the enemy formation, and Malekith is well and truly in the fire and the flames. If we try and get a close-up of him, White Kings, Vlad, Vargeist, they are all chewing at the bit to take the head from the false prince's shoulders there. Vargeist doing a decent job just hounding and harassing. We've got Feldbats up in the skies. Left-hand side of the formation's going pretty good. The zombies do seem to be going down, but now we have another unit of zombies and Graveguards starting to apply a bit of pressure to the Dark Shards, as well as this last unit of Blackguard and Nagrons, who are holding firm. War Hydra is getting some rear attacks in. Scourge Runners have started to come back into the fight, looking to try to bring pressure to the Claw of Nagash. Big breath attack goes down the line, doing some pretty devastating damage, unfortunately, to the Sternsmen, who are barely clinging on for dear life right now. They're rampaging and they're frothing. I don't know if Undead troops can froth, but these ones certainly are. They're frothing magical ichor out of the mouth as they engage with the Blackguard and Nagron. Should be a relatively even trade there, but we've got the Claw of Nagash nearby. Hopefully going to help us out quite a bit. The poor little Witch Elves are terrified, and I do not blame them. It's quite a terrifying time fighting the forces of the Undead and the Duck. The Fellbats and Vargeist do swoop down on the Dark Shards, ripping them limb from limb. Blackguard are dueling zombies, so hey, I'm at least holding them at bay, and they won't be doing too much damage to us. Malekith has managed to escape and wrestle free from the pressure of the White Kings and Vlad, who are now being tied up by Scourge Runner Chariots and Dread Spears. The War Hydra still alive. He's done some decent work so far. Only 500 damage value though, but 65 kills is certainly helping clear out the chaff, and that's something you need to do. We do miss our shot somehow with the White King, but hey, you know, you've got to shoot now and again, and sometimes you'll get rejected, but other times you'll hit a load of Blackguard in the face and do some decent damage. Claw of Nagash is going to be retreating backwards, just away from the pressure of the Blackguard and Nagrond. I don't really want to mess with them right now. Vargeist are in hot pursuit of Malekith, but also using them to rear attack can be quite useful. We have Graveguard reinforcements coming in. The Dark Shards have been forced off, and it looks like there's not that much on the battlefield left for the Dark Elves, apart from the Witch Elves, who can come back into the fight. And the balance power slowly turning my way. Now, the longer we can make this a grind fight, the better, because the Claw of Nagash and Vlad are going to get more and more value. Vlad is manically laughing now. Looks like he's going to be summoning some zombies to the battlefield to try to pin in Malekith and allow the Vargeist to catch him unawares and get the White Kings in on the action. The War Hydra's whipping its tail back and forth. Every time I decapitate one of its heads, another one grows back. But that is not going to dissuade us too much. The White King likes a challenge, and the Graveguard are trying desperately to drag him low. More zombies also going to be pushing in here. Vargeist up in the skies looking to swoop around and perhaps just chase off some routing troops. Looks like Fellbats have shattered some Dark Shards. Going to move on to the second unit. Likewise, Vargeist is going to stop the Bleak Swords from returning into the action. There's a few idle Dark Elf units who need to get moving once more. Scourge Runners are ranged shots of terror in. Definitely want to be focusing down that Morse engine at all times, really, and wherever possible. Witch Elves are terrified, and we're bumping and grinding into Malekith. The Master of Beguilement has gone down on him. He does break, but seconds beforehand gets a Soul Stealer off, and that could prove pretty crucial. It's going to heal him up nicely, and I don't really have anything on this side of the battlefield to chase him off. I do have Vargeist desperately flapping their wings to try and go over there, but one of them did get its wings clipped for a little bit and couldn't get up into the skies. Malekith getting healed up nice and tidily there. In the center, it looks like we're maybe... Oh, it looks like there was maybe going to be a breath attack from the Hydra, but instead it bounds into glorious hand-to-hand combat, and it looks like the Blackguard will be going down here. I'm trying more of these attacks. I don't know what's going on with them today. Maybe I was a little bit drunk when I was playing this. Graveguard and more Graveguard do surround the Blackguard and start to drag them down. White Kings charge in, looking to bring the pain and terror to the War Hydra, who's going to be snapping aggressively. As you can see, the ichor and poison dripping from their fangs. War Hydra does break through, and with that, Army Losses is going to come in. Malekith's skull shall be mounted on Vlad von Karstein's fireplace this very evening. Well played to my opponent, was a chill dude. Mr. Amnesia 111 was chatting before the battle. Played a decent game. I think the Scourge Runner Chariots needed to focus down some of the key targets a little bit better there. But apart from that, you know, the War Hydra got some good breath attacks in. Of course, bringing the Chad Malekith, getting massive damage value as you would expect. But what can men do? What can elves do, in fact, against the power of the Noseless? Vlad von Karstein, 2,245 damage value, just shy of 8,000 damage dealt, and 37 kills. We really turned that into a grind fest, and that's where the vampire counts shine. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to leave a big fat juicy thumbs up underneath, as well as commenting on what you thought of the battle in general. And yeah, subscribe if you like seeing this content and would like to see more in the future. Or if you'd like to support the channel, there's other ways to support the channel as well. Down below in the description, there's links to Twitch, Patreon, and Discord. Patreon's where you can support the channel. Twitch, I occasionally do other streams on there. And Discord is where you can submit replays to get cast. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was certainly some wild stuff. I don't know if there was any big standouts for me. I mean, the White Kings, both shy of 1,000 value. Of course, Vlad the Chad doing a number on the enemy. The Graveguard, they did okay, but nothing too insane. 1,000 damage value on one unit of Vargheists. There was a combination of the Claw Nagash, the White King, and a Hero and Lord Core, and just a general bump and grind. Malekith, 2,000 value was a massive standout, I believe, for the Dark Elves. Elsewhere, even the Witch Elves, only 700 value. Blackguard, 800. 1.2k is a bit of a standout there. 900 on the range. And that was about it. Sadly, only 900 value on the Mighty War Hydra. They do tend to break a little bit earlier than you would normally expect, though I think Army Losses was kicking in by that point. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.